Hello, I'm Eric Wessel. We're from Kent County, Maryland, in Wharton, just north of Chestertown. Plainview Farms is the name of the company. This is a 1980 Marmon Cabover. It's a model 110, so it's got the extra long sleeper. And Marmon didn't make too many trucks. They built them in Garland, Texas. Each truck was effectively hand-built. It has a KTA 5 1/4 Cummins in it, paired to a 12.5-15 Eaton transmission, 15-speed. My grandfather, Ron, he's over there in the tent. He bought it new from the factory in December of 1979. Been running it ever since. Wow, it's got about 1.25 million miles on it.
Did he use it as a farm truck?
Yeah, he used it as a farm truck. He also did a lot of owner-operator over-the-road hauling with it.
Has he owned it since new,
yes,
or did
he's owned it since new?
It wasn't a matter of selling it and finding it again. He's just always had it.
He did that with the Dodge here, but the Marmon he's always had. About 2 years ago, we had broken a frame rail on it. You can see the frame rail set up on the other side there.
Oh!
Anywhere you see red on that frame is a crack through the rail. And you'll see that one in the center there with the patch on it. That's the one that shut us down. It came around the bottom of the rail, all the way up the side, and we caught it when it was starting to go over the top. And in that shape, the way it is now, DOT passed that frame rail because they could not see any of the, you couldn't see any of the cracks. They all had something covering it. And with that rail where it was, that rear fender there was up against the fuel tank.
So it's a little longer than it was.
It's a little longer. It's about 265.
When did that happen?
That was about 2 years ago. Other than that, she's almost all original. And it's one of the few trucks that came from the factory with a KTA Cummins in it. Originally, it was a 450 horse. Yeah, the only other modification to it, we moved the air tanks up where they're more accessible. But,
has it been to many shows?
It hasn't been to too many shows. It was here in 2015 at York, where you're kind of using it to hold the tent up at the moment.
Yes.
The rear came out of a 2009 International.
Have you helped with all of the process of keeping it together and rebuilding?
We didn't do a whole lot of that. There was a shop down in Salisbury. Oda Stevenson Company did the work. And they're here at the show too. It's a good truck. We still use it every day hauling grain. Just this Monday, I was hauling a load of corn down to Frankfort, Delaware with it.
So was this the truck you learned to drive in?
Pretty well, yeah. I just turned 21 in December. So I didn't have the ability to go out of state. So.
And now you're like, bring it on.
Pretty well, yeah. Yeah, she's a little dirty because it drove.
It's a working truck.
Yep.
Did you grow up riding with your grandpa?
Oh yeah, I remember quite a few trips going across country in it.
How old were you the first time you drove?
Well, I first drove in it after I had gotten the CDL license, and that was just about a year ago. So I was 20 when I got it. Because I didn't meet the requirement because of when I got my car driver's license. I had to wait.
Oh, yeah, you have to wait a certain amount of time.
Well, I had to wait a certain amount of time, and then I had to go to class down in Chesapeake College.
So if he bought this new, did he get to spec it out?
Yeah. Yeah. He bought it through Dutchman's service in Pennsylvania. And
I figured there'd be a lot of Marmons here because of how close that was. Usually there'd be like 2, though, and there are probably 12 right now. They're all over. If it was a farm truck and he spec'd it as a sleeper, was there a reason?
Well, because at the time he was doing a lot of over-the-road trucking with it. To get home from the factory, he brought a load with it. He brought 3 empty trailers back up here.
What did he pay for it? Do you know?
I want to say 67.
Is that for a rookie stick? Something?
That's for load warning flags.
Oh, okay.
You got a wide load. But inside, she's pretty well all original interior. Not the original seat, of course.
That looks a little cozier.
Yeah, the original seat for this is actually in the Dodge.
Uh-huh.
Well, not the first trip, but within a month of owning it, he had put about 5,000 miles on it at the time. he was idling one night. I think it was around negative 14 or so that night up in the Dakotas. They took off next day. The engine dropped the valve. And, this is pretty well brand new engine. But he dropped the valve, and the valve went through the turbocharger, destroyed it, and just wreaked all kinds of havoc in the end.
Where was he when this happened? Inconvenient, probably.
Illinois, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And he was going across the big Indian reservation out there. They got it rebuilt.
Yes.
And been running it.
Still with the original owner.
Yep.
And it has Jake's?
Yes. Yep. It has Jake brake on it. Yeah. Not a whole lot more I can tell you about it.